find out how we spent our festive fiver.
And I'm going to be upstairs on the bed with fantastic Shirley Bassey, and we're also going to be talking more Christmas etiquette with Katie Boyle. Well, forget about sex kittens, because my guest this morning is an actual real-life sex tigress. And I can tell you that this is absolutely true, because she has already, in the 2 minutes she's been in the boudoir, created more havoc than any other guest that we've had on. Just now, the sound man came over and said, "Miss Bassey, could you please remove your necklace, because it's clanking slightly?" And she stood up and took her drawers off. I can tell you, none of the cameramen are very near to the bed. It is, of course, the very beautiful and fantastic singer, Shirley Bassey.
Thank you, Paula.
And she's quite a woman. I just hope nothing else clanks or creaks. God only knows what she'll have off.
Well, you know, I've always been accused of being a frustrated stripper, you know, and now I'm being accused of being a frustrated porno star.
It is a bit like that, isn't it?
With you, with all these men around. This is very strange feeling, but for some strange reason, I'm terribly relaxed.
Are you? You're at one with the whole world.
Yes, I quite like it, actually.
Now, it's absolutely incredible to me that you have been 40 years in show business.
This year, yes.
Have you, I mean, do you think it's really changed a huge amount, and has it changed for the better?
It's changed an awful lot. Of course, for me, I don't think it's changed for the better. I mean, there are no stars out there anymore. There are no entertainers. There's nobody come up through the ranks like I did, like Sinatra did, like Streisand did, etc., etc., etc. You know, now it's just straight in there. You know, nobody's had any training. Nobody's done any apprenticeship.
But people don't last very long anymore.
But there's that to it as well. Yeah, they have a hit and then they're gone. And I've seen them, believe me, in the 40 years. I've seen them come and I've seen them go.
Now, you've recorded songs like Big Spender and Goldfinger. Did you expect that they would still be so well remembered years later?
No, not at all. And I did not think that Goldfinger would be the hit that it was around the world. And of course, Big Spender, I never get tired of doing that, because I've made that all my own, because originally, I don't know if you saw the show, where they did it slowly. All these bored dance hall girls, you know. And my first husband, Kenneth Hume, said, well, why don't you do it, you know, sort of up-tempo it a bit, you know, and do it very saucy, as opposed to bored, do it exciting, you know. And that's how I did it, and everybody, I mean, just goes wild. And when I go to a man in the first row, you know, there are women, and my husband next, you know, I mean, they're pointing.
What do you do when you go to them?
Well, I do Big Spender and stick my bottom out.
Do you?
I don't take off my drawers.
Wow. It must be very stressful for them.
Yeah, they do tend to go a bit...
Sweat.
Like that, yes, yeah.
Golly. Crikey, I would... Well...
Well, there some do get a little embarrassed, you know, and sort of kind of do this, you know. Because it is a little bit intimidating when you go right up to somebody,
yeah,
you know,
and do
stick
anything,
your bottom
really.
in their face.
Well, yes. I mean, stick anything in their face, but your particular bottom, I think that must be rather a splendid moment for them all.
Well, I do work on it. My bottom.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you find that you have to do lots of sort of... I mean, you look so fantastic. Do you do lots and lots to keep looking brilliant?
I go to the gym. I go every day when I'm working. Every day.
You've just done your new album.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about that.
Well, I didn't know it was going to turn into an Andrew Lloyd Webber album, because I was going to do...
So he's even richer now, is he?
Well, if this is going to be a hit, yes. And they were the two from Sunset Boulevard that I liked and that I wanted to do. But then my producer, Gordon Lorenz, said, well, let's do Andrew Lloyd Webber, you know, and the various songs from the various shows. And I at first thought, I don't know about this, because they are, you know, sort of very... show songs for a singer are very difficult, because the composers do not, you know, write for singers in mind. They just hear music. And then the lyricist comes along and puts the words. And sometimes it's awfully difficult because they just go up and down and up and down, you know. I mean, so you have to train your voice to Andrew Lloyd Webber's songs, which are brilliant. And
Don't cry for me,
Argentina. The truth is I never left you.
Whoa, there we go. You were much better than me, funnily enough. What a surprise, isn't it? Crikey. Is it true you went out with Des O'Connor?
Oh, yes, in the old days. Des O'Connor was very handsome and jolly and sexy, and he still is. Oh,
did you kiss him? So you kissed Des O'Connor? Yes.
Ooh.
With
I
tongues?
kissed him, no, oh, please. Joanne, this is turning into pornographic.
No, it's just that I saw that you went out with Des O'Connor and I could not leave that unturned.
He was terribly romantic. He took me on the lake rowing.
Did he?
I did the rowing now. Yeah. It's true. I mean, he's just sat there taking the sun, you know. And then we went our separate ways because he was in one theatre and I was in another, and we did our various shows, and that was it. Never took me out again.
He's in very fit condition still, isn't he, Des?
Tremendous.
He wears a posing pouch often in pictures.
Does he? Mm. Posing pouch, posing.
A little bag thing.
Stop it.
One final question that I have always wanted to ask you. I always read about how you're a fantabulous shopper. What's the most you've ever spent in one shopping trip?
Oh, God, you don't want to hear this.
I do. I do. I want it to wash over me.
Yes. Oh, jewellery. When I bought some jewellery, and it was, I'd rather not mention the name in case I get mugged as I walk out of here. You know.
Could easily.
A lot of money.
Really?
Yes. But
in one go.
Clothes in one day was about £10,000. I had a shopping spree in Paris. Yes. Well, that was a celebration.
What were you celebrating?
That the Andrew Lloyd Webber album's going to be a hit.
I like a woman who celebrates in advance and spends all the money.
I do that. I do that. And I have a black belt in
spending.
Shopping, yeah. Sinatra says his wife has that. I think I beat her.
Shirley, thank you so much for being on The Bed, because it's really been so nice to meet you.
I loved it. I enjoyed
I've always worshipped you
moment.
from afar.
Aww.
I really have.
Now I'm close.
And now I can worship you very close.
Yes.
So while I'm worshipping you, it's time to go over to Peter Smith and the Big Breakfast News and Weather.